right, so today we're dealing with this lady here who says she speaks facts. So let's go ahead and let her talk, and then I'll be back in between.
I am so tired of everybody talking about Donald Trump being a rapist.
Yeah, well, back in May of 2023, Trump was actually found liable by a jury of sexual abuse. But a couple of months later, when Trump's lawyers tried to argue that the jury rejected that grape accusation, the judge clarified and said, yeah, Trump basically did grape E Jean Carroll. So what else do we have here?
If you want to know the reality, the woman who alleged that he was a rapist had no evidence.
No evidence? When E Jean Carroll's book came out, Trump said he'd never met her. His actual quote was, "I've never met this person in my life," Trump said in the statement. So imagine how embarrassing it was during the deposition when Trump here was shown in a photo in 1987 with E Jean Carroll, with his wife and E Jean Carroll's husband at the time. But let's let her speak more facts, shall we?
No DNA.
Again, this simply isn't true. In fact, E Jean Carroll requested Trump's DNA for years. And that's because an analysis of DNA on the dress she wore that day concluded that it did contain traces of an unknown man's DNA. So if Trump simply would have given his DNA, he could have been excluded as the person who was the attacker. But he chose not to do it year after year.
And no family or friends of hers would corroborate what she said.
Yeah, so this isn't true either. In fact, two women came forward to corroborate E Jean Carroll's account of what happened that day because they were friends. Their names were Lisa Birnbach and Carol Martin, and they actually testified in the trial.
So her allegations were just allegations, and they were false.
Yeah, nah. Again, when a jury finds you guilty, it's not just allegations anymore. And let's also not forget that Carol was one of more than a dozen women who have accused Trump of sexual assault or harassment. And the jury actually heard from two of these accusers, Jessica Leeds and Natasha Stoyanov, who said Trump did similar things to them. And then the jury also heard the well-known 2005 Access Hollywood hot mic recording of Trump talking about kissing and grabbing women without asking. Yeah, so I don't know where you get your news, but Trump actually had a trial where a jury listened to all evidence and found him guilty of the same behavior that dozens of other women have accused him of the same behavior he described himself on that Access Hollywood tape, and yet you refuse to believe it.